Hey Dad, do you believe in hell? Before I answer this question, it's important to understand that everyone holds their different beliefs based on their perspective. But to me, the concept of hell is some shit we made up to make people obey. But how are you so sure? Son, you'll soon come to realize that religion was once an effective way to control the masses. This is just another example. So religion isn't real? No, don't get me wrong. There are great truths to every religion and they can help us live a better life. But I can't get behind the concept of hell. But why? In my mind, the sins I've committed in this life can only be paid off by spreading more love and peace. I'm not learning from my sins if I'm in hell. Secondly, how can your soul burn in eternal hellfire when you don't have a physical form to burn? Exactly. But I heard God punishes us because he loves us, and that makes sense. Let me ask you a question. If you had a kid, would you let him burn alive to teach him a lesson? Jesus Christ, no! Exactly. Tell us some bullshit, bro.
Random everyday things you didn't know had spiritual meaning.
Do I have one for you? I believe that ancient civilizations were actually more advanced than we are today. And the reason why we don't have any hard physical evidence of it is because they lived in accordance with the earth. They didn't produce any non-biodegradable waste. Their science was based off of what was already provided by the earth, and they were much more consciously aware. But the biggest part of the conspiracy is I think that the people in power right now, they know this, and they won't tell the public because then we'll start living like these ancient civilizations did, and the system at which these powerful people gain more power will crumble.
100 years, after 100 years, they done lied to us about this and that. Told us all we from Africa and made fiction characters turn into facts. Harriet Tubman, then it was Nat. Knowing goddamn well that trick was capped. My wife and I wrote a book about it, and it's book with knowledge, evidence, and fact. My other book got them haters shook, cause it's helping my people take a closer look at their backgrounds in the background, showing my people where they supposed to look, showing my people where they get it from, where they hit it from, all sorts of angles. When it comes to this research, you must please first don't trust strangers. Finding out all on your own is what I highly recommend and suggest. And if you're looking for uncensored content by me, I highly recommend you the best, which is my website at the link you see just across the screen. Don't let it miss you. I make it simple. I double down on that black and white. It's too official. Oseo, everyone. For those of you that are wondering about the definition of Oseo, it is a greeting word that can mean hello, hi, or hey. If translated into our pidgin language, English, it derives from the language Cherokee, but its roots, inspiration, and original usage stem from the indigenous Algonquin language, which was a dialect that was commonly used amongst the majority of the Niji families located throughout the East Coast and the southernmost regions of America. Now, you may be familiar with the Algonquin greeting word, yo, because a lot of our people especially are currently utilizing this word as a greeting still today, or as an indicator that a person wants to say something. If you didn't know this already, now you know. Now in today's video, I will be covering what you see as the title of this video, when your President Brandon decided to utter a statement that carried a hidden message to all Niji seeking reparations still today. But just in case you may need a reminder of what was said exactly, I'll play the clip of the video right now for your convenience.
Mr. Biden, we're at 16.9, almost 17% Black unemployment. Latino unemployment is at 17.6. Last statistics of the Labor Department. Let's do a hypothetical and say that you are elected, you get people of color's unemployment down to single digits. Most people are working, they're happy. Bob Johnson recently suggested that the African American community should see $14 trillion in reparations to try to eliminate the wealth gap. Because if you are employed as a person of color, you are still so far behind in being wealthy in this country. The wealth of a white family is 7 times that of a black family.
It seems exactly right.
I know you've said before that you want to see studies, that you weren't necessarily ready to say you were for reparations, but you'd be willing to at least look at studies. There are a lot of people who suggested that these studies have been going on for a mighty long time, and why not say now whether you would be for reparations or not?
I know it has to be done now, and you know it too. Let's not wait. Let's do the study and decide whether it should be direct cash payment. But in the meantime, you know it has to be done. We know now. For example, if in fact the homes of African Americans that are the same housing that white Americans have were valued at the same rate, there'd be $154 billion more equity in black homes. That's how most white people and everyone else builds equity, builds cash, builds access to pass things on. We have to change that. We have to change the way in which we deal with access to housing. We have to change the way in which we allow people to be able to get in and purchase housing in the first instance. We have to. These are things we can do, and we can do it. And by the way, right now, we can change the education system overnight. I've been proposing for a long time now. We should have Title I schools that have very low tax bases in their communities. I said we should go from $15 billion a year to 45, which we can do overnight. Increase the salaries of teachers to $60,000 a year. They're 23% paid less than everybody else graduating from school. Get them in a position where every single child in that community is able to, and they're not just African Americans, is able to go to school, not go to daycare, school. 3, 4, and 5 years old in school. Every study in the last 8 years of all the great universities shows that will increase by over 55% their ability to go all the way through all 12 years. We should be finding free access.
We should know we can find that on Biden.com, but I'm not sure what your answer is to the reparations question.
If in fact there are ways in which to get direct payments for reparations, I want to see it. But why are we waiting around for the study? We can deal with
they're not mutually exclusive. You don't have to wait around for the study. That's my point.
But they don't look. They're not mutually exclusive. But I can't believe that whatever it is, the African American community would not support what I'm talking about. In addition to,
I don't think we have to. Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, so we can move on because we've got to get some phone calls in as well. But let me ask you this then: if in fact a calculation comes to you that you are satisfied with, would you then say, I'm for reparations?
The answer is it would depend on what it was, and will it include Native Americans as well?
All right.
Okay, let's back it up a little bit and play it again for those people that are sitting way in the back.
If in fact a calculation comes to you that you are satisfied with, would you then say, I'm for reparations?
The answer is it would depend on what it was, and will it include Native Americans as well?
All right.
And before I go any further, I would like for you all to take this time now to leave your comments about this statement below and tell me what you think. And while you're at it, be sure to tap the like button on this video. And don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel for more informative content like this and more. Now, I want to give some context around this particular interview because it was just recently making its rounds throughout social media, especially on Twitter. But I want to inform you that this interview did not take place this year nor last year. Ed Gordon interviewed Biden during the year 2020. This is also the reason why you see the lower third under his name, indicating that he is the former vice president of the United States. So this interview was conducted during the time Donald Trump was still the president, and Biden was campaigning for his run for president at this time, which leaves one to question, why was this video floating around as if it was new? Maybe the Republicans wanted to softly remind the public about Biden's take concerning reparations for so-called Black Americans in order for whoever is selected as the Republican candidate to run for president can give us their best acting skit on why they should be voted as president by Blacks in hopes that they may finally receive some form of reparations during his or her tenure as president. But your guess is as good as mine. And let's not forget about the time Biden said that if you didn't vote for him, then you ain't Black.
Veteran and active duty military. If you serve.
See us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't Black.
And once this was broadcasted all over social media, nobody said a word about Biden overstepping his boundaries, or why Biden used the term Black as if it was just a nickname given to only a specific group of people. Doesn't that sound all too familiar to you? A nickname given to only a specific group of people? Can you recall a nickname that we use for other groups of people outside of our own? Oh, you can? So tell me, is that nickname used in a derogatory sense, even if you mean well? Like, how do you think it would be received if Biden stated that if you didn't vote for him, then you ain't Mexican, or you ain't Nigerian, or you ain't German, or you ain't Irish, or you ain't Chinese, or you ain't Japanese, etc.? Wouldn't they take offense to that statement? The term Black does not attach you to a specific landmass, nor does it place you with an existing race of people of a particular country for that matter. So, since the term Black lacks these important factors when attempting to describe a group of people from a historical perspective, wouldn't this mean that Black people are a non-existing group of people? This explains the reason why Biden used the term Black, simply because it was a joke inside of a joke.